Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video, we are going to start a new topic called inheritance. So to explain inheritance, let's create a new package. This package will be called inheritance. And let's create domain package as well. Let's start inheritance with one kind of real life example. Create a class called employee. Employee will have two fields. Three fields. Let's start with name. Let's start with social security number, and then let's create a class address to hold the addresses. So create a new class called address, and here let's have only two attributes: street and zip code. Not sure if zip code is one word or two words. I'll put one word. If IntelliJ doesn't complain, probably is one word. Let's not create constructors, because there is something that will need to be explained before that. So getters and setters, and back in employee, employee has a address. So address package inheritance address. Cool. Same thing. Getters and setters. Getters and setters. So we have get name, set name, social security number. Okay. So let's test this by right-clicking new package, and then we go back here, replace domain by test, and you insert Java class inheritance test01. Okay, PSVM. Let's create address because it is the class with fewer relationships. So address new address. Now let's go the old way. Address.setStreet, 12th Avenue, and address.setZipCode, and person. I did it wrong. I created an employee. Now let's go with employee. Then employee. So employee will have another thing here. Let's call salary. Private double salary. Okay, so create getters and setters, and come back here, employee, package inheritance, employee, new employee, employee dot set name. Let's use Teresa. Employee dot set social security number. Employee dot set salary. Employee dot set address, and we send this address right here. Okay, now we have everything. Let's go to employee and let's create here a method to print. So basically, this dot name, this dot social security number, this dot salary, this dot address dot get street plus space plus this dot get address dot get zip code. So nothing fancy, just the same print method, the same things that we have been doing so far. Now inside the inheritance, we just call employee dot print. That should be public. Control Shift F10. Okay, so we have the employee, we have the social security number, we have all the data. Now imagine that your manager comes to you and say, I would like you to create a new class, and this class should be manager. So come here, let's create now. And he says, well, manager will have everything that the employee has. Basically, I would like you to have manager with address, name, social security number, salary. And I also would like you to have a string with his department. So then you come here and you create a new class, and this class is manager. So basically manager will have string name, private string social security number, private string department, and what else? We have address and salary. So let's copy these two and then here. And then you start creating the getters and setters, and then you suddenly realize, wait a minute, looks like I have seen this code somewhere else. And then when you look from line 4 to 8, and if you just do a Control C and you come here to manager, from manager to employee, and you do a Control V, is basically, whoa, it's the same thing. I'm just replicating code. And if we think from the real life perspective, a manager, it is an employee. So it's not like an employee has a manager. An employee, it's more generic. So far, all the associations that we have been doing, I have been using the word has a. So for example, if we go back to the exercise, we say that the professor has seminars. A seminar has students, has a place. So this relationship has a is related to the association. But when we talk here, we have manager and employee. So we are saying, manager is an employee. So basically, manager is everything that an employee is plus something more. So manager is extending the functionalities of the employee. So if we want to go even higher, let's say something more generic, we could have a class person. And then inside person, the class person, we would have name, social security number, and address. And then employee, we would have everything that a person has plus salary, because just a regular person doesn't have salary. It should be an employee. And then a manager that's even more specialized. So you see that we are extending. So employee is a person. A manager is an employee. It means that a manager is a person. So you're going down the three. And when we think about is a and extending functionality, we are talking about being more specialized. So manager is everything that the employee has, but it has more functionalities or more fields. So how do we link these two together? How do I create this relationship is a? Now, the first thing that you have to know is that inheritance is, if you don't be careful, you are coupling your code. Inheritance is like very, very high coupling code together. Why? Because you have is a. So if a manager is an employee and you do something to the employee, of course you're going to affect manager. And if you have like person, employee, manager, if you do something to person, you're going to affect employee and manager as well. So it's not like something here. So for example, if I add or I change something in the, for example, in the seminar, of course, it will kind of affect professor because professor has seminars, but not that much. It's just has a professor is not a seminar, but a manager is an employee. So manager is extending the functionality of an employee class. And in Java, we tell, so manager extends who? Employee. When we do this, we are saying that manager has everything that the employees has because it is an employee. So all the attributes, all the methods are being inherited. So for example, I can delete all of this and delete all the methods as well. Because now it's coming from the employee. How do you know that? Let's go to inheritance test. And then here, let's just add one space here because we are going to have both of them. Now I will create a manager. Manager, new manager. Manager dot set. You see that I have the same attributes. I have one that's bold because this is the one that belongs especially for this class. It's part of the class manager, but I also have all of them. We have salary, address, name, and social security number. So basically I have all the attributes that the employee has plus my own attributes, my own method. So I will do the same here. I will just be very lazy. I will just copy Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and by holding the mouse wheel, I will just drag and drop and type manager. Done. And the name now will be Oda. Let's give a Shimazu and then Nobunaga. Social security number, a different one, and salary, since it is a manager, let's raise this to 250,000. Same address. Now, I have the manager with all the attributes being set basically the same way as we did for employee, plus I need to give my own attribute here. That's the department. And department, let's say IT. Now, if I have access to employees getters and setter, it means that I also have the print method. So manager.print, and if we execute now, you should see both employees, but one of them is a manager. So we have the Toyohisa and we have Oda Nobunaga. Basically, this one is a manager, this one is a regular employee. Now, even though we don't have the print available inside the manager, we still have access to all the objects, so it's being inherited even though you don't see it. Now if you go back to employee, you will notice that we do have some hints from IntelliJ saying that this class is subclassed, and this subclass is the class that's extending the subclass is manager. Now let's stop in this video. In the next one we are going to talk about how we can get the data basically from the print method and just add our own, the manager data. So when should you use inheritance? Basically when you want to extend a functionality or when you want to use polymorphism. So we are going to talk about this topic later, but what you have to remember now is that inheritance is going to couple a lot your code. So everything that I do here, so for example, let's say my employee, I don't want to have salary anymore, boom. So now your manager and your employee, both classes, even though you don't see it here, so your employee is broken and your manager is also broken. So that's why you have to be very careful. So let's just go back here and leave the salary. Okay, that's it for this video. Let's continue in the next one. Hope you liked. See you there.